Recording. All right, Mr. JC, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, as we were talking before we started recording, our last show I had with the doc here was about diets, and we went over the different foods and shoot, what else did we talk about? We talked about a lot of stuff.
A lot of the
Yeah.
diets, fad diets,
the pros and
bodybuilding
cons of
diets.
each and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And dude, the response I got from that show, obviously, and that was our highest show.
Was it?
So
That's
far, yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the responses and the messages I got from that. So our first show, I think, was in March, was 120 views. And this one that we just, our last Ask the Doc, which was our third, I think it was our third, right?
Yeah, third. Yeah,
It had over 800. So in 3 months, we over 700 more views.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So
pretty
can
cool.
you imagine in a year what it'll look like, man?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to be all in California.
Yeah. Yes. That's why I got to hire these people so I can go out and start doing this stuff. My book gets done. I have this whole branding, all this stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. These people now start taking care of all this stuff for me. Confuses me. So,
Yeah, listen, I have no idea what I'm doing either. I didn't even know how to turn a computer on before I started all this crap.
No.
So, anyways, so this obviously this Ask the Doc segment will be about obesity. And we'll cover obesity and we'll talk about some eating disorders afterwards. But I figured we'd start it, and we're supposed to have Ty Pope. I don't know if Ty's coming or not. I sent him the link, but I figured we'd start with the obesity part of it. We won't get too in depth with it because everybody kind of knows what obesity is and whatever. Yeah. And so I figured I brought JC on because I'd like to tell his story. He's actually a Gaspari athlete. He went through a tremendous weight loss. And I don't even know the whole story. So I said, you know what? Let me bring him on and let him tell his story. And then we'll ask him some questions. And then Doc, you can ring in if you got some questions or some statements and stuff, if you've got some related cases and what have you. So go ahead,
Absolutely.
JC, man, it's all yours.
All right. So thank you guys again for having me. So basically my story started back in January 2019. I was 38 years old. I was weighing 431 pounds. I noticed that my right leg was turning purple by the ankle area. So there was very, very little blood flow, but I didn't know that until I went to the cardiologist. So yeah, once it started getting kind of weird and getting purple, I freaked out. I tell my wife, I'm like, listen, I'm going to talk to the cardiologist or the doctor. Let me see what it is. And, at that time I was having trouble walking. I couldn't tie my shoes. I would shower every other day. I mean, it was that bad. My life was basically the bed to the dinner table to the sofa back to the bed. That was my life. So, so whatever, I go to the cardiologist and he tells me, look, he ran all the tests and he's like, look, right now you're alive, but you're dead in 2 years if you keep up how you're doing. So, he freaked me out. He tells me right there, he's like, do you have any kids? I said, yeah. How old is he? He's 4 years old. All right. He's like, all right, do me a favor, man. I mean, honestly, you already messed up your life. Don't mess up your kid's life. So you got to do something about your weight. And I left there crying. I mean, bawling. And, he's a very, he's a well-known surgeon. And he's like, listen, I'm going to give you my cell number. I want your wife to call me because this is serious and I want them to talk with me. I want to talk with her. And that was it. That pretty much started everything. From there, I started, walking around my neighborhood. That's what I wanted to look for the most sustainable type of diet, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, if I do a keto, that's not really sustainable for me. So I thought, okay, I didn't want to drink protein shakes. I didn't want to be going to the gym every single day. So I thought, okay, let me do paleo. Paleo, I can eat a lot of protein. I can eat all the veggies that I want, and I have certain carbs that I can eat. So I just started walking around the block and eating paleo. And just doing that in my first year, I lost over 120 something pounds just walking and just eating cleaner, specifically paleo. Now I didn't go like full blown paleo, you know. I just stuck to high protein, high veggies, low carbs, and the carbs that were allowed. That's it. And after that, once I was able to, you know, walk faster, then I joined what's called 9 Round. You guys have that where you guys live?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't sound. Is that the boxing thing?
It's like a cardio kickboxing
Mhm.
30-minute workout thing. So I thought, okay, let me go. It's 30 minutes. I'm going to sweat my ass off and I'll be good. I'll be out in 30 minutes. There's no class time, go whenever I want. And there's a trainer included.
Mhm.
And I'm like, all right, I'm going to start it. So I started doing it, brother. And I started getting cuts in my arms. You would do some weights, you would do different things. And one day I was like craving sweets. And I thought, man, like I'm doing everything perfect. I'm eating good. I'm going to the gym. I'm changing my life. How do these bodybuilders or how do these people maintain a good physique? I mean, they can't just live off of chicken and broccoli their whole life. It's impossible. So I started looking at Google. I started looking at YouTube, and I find videos of, you know, protein pancakes, protein ice cream, you know, little things. So whatever menus they would put, I just make it a little bit stricter. So they said add oatmeal. I wouldn't add the oatmeal. I would just do the protein, and that's how I would make the pancake.
Mhm.
So, brother, I learned to do kind of like desserts with healthy, and that was it. And one day I'm looking at a video and I see some guy that says in 2 years I went from obese to a WBFF bodybuilder. So I look at the video and this guy was 300 something pounds. He wasn't nowhere near as big as me. And the guy goes on the stage shredded.
Wow.
And I tell the trainer, I'm like, hey, I want to do a show like this. And it's actually a transformation show. I didn't know that they existed. So it's like the bodybuilding show, but it's people who were obese or very skinny that got muscular or lost weight. And brother, I got into it hardcore. I loved it. I started training and I competed. In 19 months, I lost a total of 210 pounds. I had my abs out, everything. And I did 2 shows and I actually lost more than any other competitor in both shows. And I qualified for the World Championship, which is now in August in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if I win this one also, I'll be a World Transformation Champion.
Trying to see if I could pull up your
Yeah, you'll see
your
pictures.
competition. Is it in your Instagram?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it here. You guys able to see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at, let's see, you got to go lower because it's.
Oh, that's you right there in the middle.
Yeah.
You look amazing, bro. I'm telling you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
That's incredible. That's a lot of discipline.
Yeah, it was, and I did it during COVID, so there's no excuse. If you want it, you get it done.
So
Oh,
what do you,
absolutely.
so what do you think? And we'll talk about this more as we go on.
If you
What was your biggest problem? What do you think was putting the weight on you?
So, you know, with me, I'm Hispanic, and we, you know, ever since we're kids, you know, we're always told, you know, look, eat more, eat more. The more you eat, the more of a man. The bigger you are, the stronger you're gonna get. You know what I mean? But not just that. I had, you know, I was a preemie, so I was born at 6 months. So according to my mom, she told me that I had, you know, I needed a lot of, cortisone and a bunch of hormones and steroids and things like that, so I can develop. That was me on stage, actually. That picture right there, and that's with loose skin on my stomach, and my abs were still showing.
Yeah, I see that. What do you weigh right here? What do you weigh now?
So right there, I was 221. Right now, I'm 230, 233.
Okay.
So yeah. So basically, you know, what my mom always told me that it was because of the, you know, the hormones and all those things. Pretty much got it got the ball rolling. Plus, it didn't help the fact that the whole eating part, like I'm telling you, eat more, and then for punishment, my dad was the type that you said, hey, I don't want, coffee. He'll be like, well, you're having two now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the, one way or another, you're going to like it, So that's what I think in my early life is what caused, the obesity part. But then the rest of my life is just like everybody else, man. We like to eat, and then the better I got financially, it would be like more restaurants, going out more, traveling more, eating more, fancier places, and
you're down in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're full of nice restaurants, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's basically what I can say that led to that, now when I had my son in 2014, that's when everything got to like a whole other level, because I was just like, and I don't say this to brag, I was doing very well financially in that moment. And, I had other agents producing money for me, and I'm a realtor. I own a real estate company.
Okay.
I just wanted to be with my son. You know what I mean? So it was like my whole day was just like carrying my baby the whole time. And I didn't want to go out. And it was just like, we had a nanny that was we had a live-in nanny. So it was like, okay, for breakfast, I want 3 sandwiches, 3 egg sandwiches. I want this and that and this and that. And it was like a buffet. And it went up, and I got to a point where I was 431 pounds, man. And I couldn't walk.
Wow.
Couldn't walk. It was that bad. Sleep with a breathing machine and everything.
Now, how did and obviously there was a big difference. So what did your blood work look like then compared to now?
Well, believe it or not, the only negative thing I had was the actual blood flow on the right bottom of the leg, but everything else was normal.
Really?
Which was super weird, but it was normal. I didn't have diabetes. I wasn't even pre-diabetic. I mean, it wasn't, it's a miracle of God. Everything was perfect except for that part. Yeah. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably be dead right now.
Yeah. Now, Doc, do you see that quite a bit in obese people? They can have good blood work?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And it's quite surprising because, I mean, first of all, I give you much respect and credit. That's a complete life transformation, and no one made you do it but you, and you stuck with it. So absolutely props to you all the way around, my friend. I'm so proud of you. But from a medical standpoint, yeah, that's the thing, guys, is that, we run blood work and cholesterol's not that bad. Liver's good, kidney's good, and so you sit there and try to tell somebody, look, this extra weight is causing you problems. But then when you look at the statistical information, there is no problems. So their lifestyle continues to manifest. Where my problem is, and just like he said, is it might not have shown up then, but it's going to. I do promise you that. Remember, Stan, my subspecialty is cardiology. And most of the time, very rarely is the heart to go bad first. It's kind of like at your house, the sprinkler system. Very barely does the sprinkler pump go bad. It's the PVC pipe in your sprinkle heads. They go bad. Then over a period of time, you don't fix them, then the pump goes bad. It's the same thing with the vascular system in the heart. Usually by the time we get to the heart, you're looking at 10 to 15 years of endothelial or vascular dysfunction. And like I said, where he was saying, look, there's this purple spot on my leg and blood flow is not good. There we are. There's the start. And see, he made a conscious choice then that we need to start doing something, because what happens is most people ignore it because it doesn't hurt. But then what happens is manifestation 10 to 15 years, when it hurts? When they're grabbing their chest. Now it's a heart attack. And that's the thing I take such a point with, from an overweight perspective. Even if blood work's not bad, we got to start making lifestyle choices. And he can absolutely attest to what it's done for him overall. Yeah, lab work wasn't good, but that would have been the worst investment to go home like, well, it's good. So nothing I'm actually doing is wrong. And the doctors can't say so. They can just say that I'm heavy, but like I said, that's the thing you see is the long term, because the diabetes is going to come. The heart failure is going to come. The body is not made to be that big. It's excess pressure on the system, which alters the biochemistry and physiology.
How about Psychologically, what was it doing to you, JC?
Oh man. So I've always been a very outgoing guy. I wasn't the type that's, because I was heavy, I wouldn't talk to girls or things like that. I was always the funny guy. I was always the first one going to dance. Because of the obesity, my whole life, I had to, we have to bring out our personalities more because we don't have the muscles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I was a super outgoing guy, and I realized where it really messed me up was that I had a client that wanted to buy a condo. I'll never forget. It was $1.2 million. So we're looking at a maybe $35,000 commission. Okay, if I made that sale. And I did not attend him. I did not want to see him because I didn't want him to see me on how much weight I had gained.
Yeah.
So think about it. You just lost $35,000 because you're fat. Let's be real. Because I was fat, I was embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. So,
that's when I knew that, okay, hold on. Now now it's gotten really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then family would come from South America. I wouldn't want to see my family. I wouldn't want them to see me. Mm. And my life was, like I told you, my life just became bed, dinner table, sofa, dinner table, bed. That's it. And I would shower every other day because to shower was a pain in the ass. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but it was.
Say whatever you want, man.
Okay.
This is your hour. Go for it.
All right. It was bad. It was bad. So that's how it messed me up psychologically. Love life. I don't want to say that it messed me up in the sense that it made me feel insecure or anything like that. It really didn't, because luckily I have a wife that cared for me no matter how I was, mm-hmm. which I value that so much. So really, it was when I noticed that part of not helping clients and not wanting to see my family, especially when I never see them. Mm-hmm. They live in another country, yeah. And that's basically how it messed me up psychologically.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we segue into our eating disorder section on here, what you're doing some stuff now to help people. You have this, what is this foundation and stuff that you've got going on?
So what I did was I created it's called Fat Free Foundation. So it's a nonprofit, but it's just me by myself. It was just something that I said, when the whole thing with the cardiologist started, I would cry myself to sleep because I was so depressed. Mm-hmm. And I would pray and I'd say, God, if you get me out of this one and you save my life, I promise you that I'll save lives. And ever since then, I feel like it's like I owe it to God that, okay, you help me, now I'm going to help. Mm-hmm. Plus, being at that level made me realize, hey, there's a lot of people that need help. There's a lot of people struggling with obesity and like really battle. It's not what the things that you guys see. I mean, well, the doctor probably has, but I mean, I get messages from people that are like, I can't get on a bike. I can't get off my bed. I can't go to the bathroom. I can't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, my son tried to kill himself 2 weeks ago. Things where it's like heavy stuff. So I thought, you know what I'm going to open up a nonprofit and I'm going to help in whatever way I can. So I do a lot of basic things because I'm a one-man show. So I have like an ebook that I give people whenever they ask me, oh, how did you lose weight? Mm-hmm. I did an ebook with my, like a sample diet that I did. It talks about paleo, how to do cardio, the heart rate, how I started, before and after pictures. I have a transformation video to get people motivated. Mm-hmm. And I give that to everyone who needs help. You know what I mean?
No, that's great, man. And I think, I don't mean to interrupt you there, but
yeah,
I find a lot of clients that I help, or, people that I know that help, if they're overweight, they're embarrassed. They don't want to go in the gym. They don't want to ask for help. But at least with you, your story, they see what you've done and they're like, man, this guy's been there. I can actually, it's kind of like somebody coming to me or the doc wanting to know about bodybuilding or something like that. Hey, these guys have done this. I know they can help me. With you, that's amazing, man. I really hope it takes off for you.
I hope it does. I mean, again, I didn't do it for the money, but it's opened up so many doors. You know what I mean? I've been featured in, bodybuilding magazine. I'm sorry, bodybuilding.com, Men's Health. I have a huge project that I'm working on now that has to do with TV. Like it's opened up a lot of doors.
Well, you're on the Gaspari team too, which is amazing.
That's the other one.
Yeah.
Gaspari was like, I was like, sometimes I'm like, are you kidding me? 2 years ago, I weighed almost 500 pounds, and now I'm a Gaspari athlete.
Yeah.
I'm working out with Rich Gaspari.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, what you're doing, you have to understand. It's, you know, and like Jason has known me now for a couple years, and so, you know, you come to me. I don't look like your typical doctor. You know, so you just talk, we just chill out. I just happen to be left with a brain that can answer probably 99% of your questions. And as someone like yourself, it's like my old man used to tell me, like, you know, he goes, that's great that you have all this education, that you're going to be somebody someday, and I wish you all the best. He goes, but absolutely, your knowledge and effort is useless if you don't share it. You're going to keep all this knowledge to yourself and not share it with others and do different things with it. He goes, then your power is useless. You know, knowledge is power. It's useless unless you absolutely give it away. And for what you're doing, you're giving people hope, because like I said, you know, and that's like I tell people from my point as doc, and it's kind of a little correlation. Like, you were no better or no different than any other 400 plus individual.
Yeah.
You just made a choice and said you weren't going to give up until you reach your goal. And so that's kind of the theme that I try to do when I do public speaking is, look, I'm just a regular guy from a broken home, unprivileged area who said, I got to make a change. And I just spent 15 years in school and said, no, I'm no smarter than anybody else. I just dedicated 15 years of my life. And so if I'm overweight, who are you going to talk to? Because like you said, you go to the gym, you're ridiculed. Everybody looks at you. You know that. That's why you stayed home. Come on, man. No, you know, everyone's going to look odd. And like you say, the same difference. You're real estate. You did very well for yourself. But you got a high-end client who's flying in, and then you're the first person they see. You know what happened. It's the way society is. So like you said, don't go beat around. It's fat. That's what it is. You know, but now, which is phenomenal, is, like I said, what did you do? Oh, okay. You did it and it worked. Well, then I can do it, or you can show them how to do it. And what was it? At the end of the day, there was a commitment to say, you know, I don't want my legs cut off. I don't want my heart to fail. So what'd you do? All you did was you started by walking around the block. How hard is that? At the end of the day, how hard? And then you lost weight, and you did it faster. And then you did it to where you could go to a gym. And you know what I'm saying? It's progression. And that's the hardest thing in my field is I can't get this through people's heads. Like, it's the little things you do each and every day that make a difference.
Right.
You know, but what happens, it's the easy things with the bad outcomes. It's the hard things with the good outcomes.
Yeah. So I get that a lot from, I mean, everybody. It's incredible how people open up because it's what you're saying. I was that person who was 400 and something pounds, and they know that I'm a real guy. Like I had a follower that came from Texas and drove to Miami because he had to see if I was real. He didn't believe it. And I answer all my texts. I answer everybody's questions because I know what they're going through because I went through it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I met with him to have some Cuban coffee. And, you know, he's like, I want to have a life. I want to get married. Listen, ever since the moment that guy had a talk with me until yesterday, look at my post, he's dropped 65 pounds just because he had a talk with somebody. Sometimes people just need to know that it's doable.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely. That's it.
Look, think about it like this. If you weigh 400 pounds and you lose 100, you're still 300 pounds. If you lose 200, you're still 200 pounds. And in today's society, 200, you're still considered fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what hope do people have? So I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that gives hope to everybody. And if you notice I don't sell anything. I don't do any of that stuff. It was mainly to help, and everything's just blown up to another level. You know?
Yeah, and see, then like your clientele, the people who come to you know that you're legit. That's like Jason will tell you, like, you know, I literally, you know, I'm pretty good at what I do, but I literally couldn't sell you air. I can't sell to save my life. And that's why a lot of other doctors or, different things that go on, people are always trying to sell to, I don't know. I couldn't do it if I tried. I'm literally the worst salesman ever. But I know what people need. Like you said, I don't need to sell you a diet or weight loss. Look, it's pretty much the end of the day. Keep doing what you're doing and you're gonna die. So do you want, like you said, do you want to get married? Do you want to spend time with your kids? Do you want to have, do you want to live, be successful, whatever it is, how bad do you want it? At the end of the day, how bad do you want it? Kind of more, body dysmorphic, the long-term effects that it's going to play both on the biochemistry and physiology in the body, how important in both of those disease processes, vitamins, nutrition, vitamins, minerals, nutrition play a part in your biochemistry and physiology. And both of those disease processes, you're not getting the nutrients you need. So ultimately, a host of problems, be it musculoskeletal, be it hormone or endocrine, be it neurological, cardiovascular, GI system, you're really starting to mess up the physiological systems in the body.
What was the other one that I was looking at? The reverse anorexia. I think, did we talk about that one?
No,
that's the one where that's kind of more of a bodybuilder one too, right? Where they think they're small,
and they keep they keep moving in the direction. But like I said, and again, all of them, and I'll just take it from a doctor perspective. You can take the males or females who think that they're too heavy, and then they're doing their way extreme dieting and or not eating, but then they start looking at using medications that can alter brain, using amphetamines, using different things to keep losing weight, excess thyroid hormone, amphetamines, different things like that. Now you're talking a world of cardiovascular issues, neurological issues, Then on the flip side, we know this from a bodybuilder perspective or someone who doesn't think they're too big. Now you begin to overeat, you're eating too much. And then again, then what do they lead to? Then let's see if I can take steroids. And if some steroids are good, then more steroids are better. Again, not being monitored. And again, let's not BS. They work. They're going to get bigger. So now if they're eating, they're taking steroids. But again, if you still never feel like you're gaining, then for, you to keep adding more and more would be what you're going to continue to do. Now, again, not understanding the toll it plays on your body long term. So. Yeah.
What was the other one that I came across? How's it pronounced? PICA, Pisa. That's where they eat like
deficiencies.
All kinds of all kinds of
eat
stuff.
Like a lot of times if people start to eat clay or ice, you'll be iron deficient. So pica, so you're eating your body's beginning to crave certain elemental, nutrients and different things that it needs, and then what'll happen is it'll spark you to eat ice, or it sparks you to eat, but literally people eat clay because they're losing out on certain nutrients.
What about rumination disorder? That's something to do with they chew it up and they eat it and they get the flavor or something like that, then they spit it out.
So basically, again, what happens with the
I've done that with pizza when I'm dieting.
I can do that sometimes.
What's that? There's a commercial or something like that, or the guy's smelling the pizza and then he eats the lettuce or something like that.
You just, and a lot of it has to do with satiety. Satiety meaning your satisfaction with food. And so a lot of times, again, a lot of this comes from the hypothalamus in the brain, which is kind of the main big time regulator of everything. So what'll happen is you get the flavor, you get, you start to digest this process in the mouth. So what happens is they just don't actually take the full, the full grunt of everything down. It's just basically enough to satisfy them. Kind of turn those centers off.
Yeah. JC, what is you think the most common when these guys are contacting you, the guys and girls, what's their biggest problem?
How to start, man.
Yeah.
How to start and how to keep motivated for so long.
Yeah.
How to maintain it and how to not fall off the wagon, man. It's insane. Like so many people don't. Honestly, if what I tell people is if you're not a disciplined person, that you can't diet, I tell everyone, listen, eat what you normally eat, just cut in half. So if you normally eat a whole pie, a pizza, eat half a pie.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a bucket of ice cream, have half. I'm not saying that it's good, but at least
You start somewhere.
you're eliminating half of the calories. And then if you walk, you're already doing something, which is better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I even joke around with them. I'm like, do any type of exercise. If going like this 100 times is going to make you sweat, then do like that with your head 100 times. If having sex makes you sweat, have sex all day long. Do anything to get you active, because that's as easy as I can put it for someone who is in that type of obesity level. You know what I mean? There's no gym, there's no trainers. We don't believe in those type of things. It just doesn't register. You know what I mean? Our lives are all just like, what are we going to eat? You're having breakfast and you're already thinking, where are we going for lunch?
Yeah.
That's life. It's a drug addict, but with food. And unfortunately, we got to eat, So that's the main thing I get from people. How do I start? And then I tell them, once you do that, once you drop the 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, you yourself are going to say, you know what? I'm not going to have a cheat weekend. I'm going to have a cheat day. Then that cheat day is going to turn to a cheat meal. And then that cheat meal is going to turn into just a dessert. And then eventually you're just not going to cheat at all. You're just going to change your lifestyle. But once you see the results, because if they don't see the results, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Either you get motivated or you got to get scared. Bottom line. So I got scared. that got me to get going.
Oh, I'd imagine seeing that discoloration and stuff on your legs, man. That's scary.
Right now, if you see the veins on my legs, they got so big because of the doc. I don't know what they're called, but it's a vascular disease.
Yeah.
They're huge. They look like a snake.
Well, what happens again, because remember, your arteries have muscles in them, so they pump the blood away. But what happens, your veins don't have very strong muscles. They actually use the pump that you get from your muscles. So when you were 450 pounds, how much muscles did you have? You didn't. So you didn't have blood flow back. So what happens is in the valvular system, the blood starts to go up, but then it trails back down.
That's exactly
goes back, and then it pulls out. You end up with varicosities.
Yeah, they're huge. They look like a freaking snake. I mean, they're huge. And it's even now. I'm super healthy. I feel great, and I still have those issues. Now the purpleness has gone away, but I have the leftover the veins like what's this body like Nick Walker. The veins that he has on the bottom. It's all because of that. That's the serious weight that the guy was carrying.
Yeah.
So,
and like you said, I think you make a good two good points. Is you either got to get motivated or get scared. And it's just like you said, food is an addiction, the same as cocaine, meth, or anything else. I don't care what it is. And it's actually funny if you look, like you can do what's called a functional MRI, and I can show you how powerful sugar is relative to cocaine. The brain will light up for sugar more than it lights up for cocaine. And so in addiction, be it whatever the addiction is, I have to kind of say that motivation's not going to happen until fear happens. And that fear's got to be your rock bottom. And I've kind of learned that as a physician. I could put your son, I can put your daughter, and I can put all the money in front of you and say, are you willing to lose this because you're eating too much? And but until you hit your rock bottom, you'll never become motivated. Even though it might seem like you're like, oh, I can't believe that you'd want to be heavy and you have a beautiful wife and child and a career. It doesn't matter. Until that person hits their rock bottom, they're never going to change. And nobody else is going to make somebody hit rock bottom.
That's exactly what happened to me. And that's what I tell that to everyone who wants to have a talk with me, who tells me, what do you do? How did you do it? And I tell them, you need to get scared or you need to get motivated. And you need to find a reason to fuel whatever it is that you have in your head. Because if not, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's a serious, serious problem. And the more I hear from people, I realize that it's worse than what we all imagine.
Now,
really
JC, if somebody needs to contact you, the best way is what? Through your Facebook or Instagram or what?
Instagram is the one that I'm getting a lot of traction through. Fatfree.jc. And then I have the Fat Free Foundation. So I have two of them.
Okay.
Whichever of the two.
I'll post them at the bottom of the video and stuff. So, guys, I apologize for the technical difficulties here, but obviously it's something I couldn't control. So it's got me all flustered.
Don't worry about it. Tell me what you need. Again, you need to do, want to do a rerun on it. I don't care.
No, I think I got the majority of it. JC told a story and, we kind of talked on that. I think we're good for now. Unless you guys can think of something else.
No, I think we're good. Like I said, we had some good conversation in the background while we're waiting a little bit. So
yeah,
I'm gonna help him out the best that I can if he needs it. So
well,
you're the man that can do it.
Yeah, I want to leave a message for the people who are listening that are depressed right now, that feel like there's no hope and feel that that there's no way out of a hole that they're in, and there's always a way out. Whether it's dieting, whether it's bariatric surgery, whether it's pills, whether it's a psychologist, there's always a way out. You're worth gold. You're amazing, no matter what you feel you are, and you're worth it. You just need to get that motivation, get the help. You know what I mean? Write to me, write to the doc, write to whoever is willing to be here to help. But there's always a solution, and you can't let obesity take over your life. I say that in every podcast, in every interview that I'm in, because people got to know that, because there's a lot of people out there that are just laying in bed wanting to freaking kill themselves and feel like there's just no hope in life, and there is, and I'm living proof that it's doable.
Yeah.
So,
I see that a lot, man. I see people out in public all the time. I deal with the public every day, and I see some of these people that are just overweight, man. I really want to reach out, and I was just like, I really want to help them, but it's how do you approach somebody?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Even me, that I have something legit that can say, hey, I have a foundation, I have a book that I can help. Let me give it to you for free. I still feel bad about going to that heavy guy and say, hey, what's up, brother? Look, I see you're kind of heavy. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to approach somebody like that. Yeah. So I feel you, man. But nothing, man. I hope the message just goes out to everybody, man. Because I really, really, really genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, want to help people with this whole obesity shit. It's really taking over a lot of people's lives, man. And kids. There's kids that are 20 years old that haven't had a girlfriend, that weigh 420 pounds, that they can barely look at you straight in the eyes. Like it's bad. It's bad.
Oh, and you speak on that. It's bad from my perspective. I do adolescents, but I mean, I'm getting, kids who have literally no muscle mass, overweight, but then on my perspective, no hormones. I'm getting 21, 22-year-old boys who have testosterones that are less than what a female would have. And these aren't kids who took steroids or who did drugs, just greatly overweight, poor diet. And again, you got young men under the age of 25. And I've heard some horror stories. Like I said, I look at the labs and they don't have hormones. Just like you said, JC, no girlfriends. They can't have girlfriends because they haven't had an erection. I got 22, 23-year-olds with erectile dysfunction. Yeah. I mean, you start wrapping your brain around just the totality of a young man having a testosterone level of less than 100, no drive, libido, drive, motivation, just in life. And then on top of that, they have erectile dysfunction that early in life. I mean, but again, where are they going to turn?
Can that be fixed naturally, Doc?
It can. Again, it starts 100% with what, my first thing is Go talk to my man, JC. We got to
Yeah.
find out where we're going to start, because my
Mhm.
job doesn't come into play until they're ready to make that change. Then he can start to guide them. Then the weight goes down, just like we talked about it. Estrogen can be high. Well, I might need to force their estrogen down for a while. See if their testosterone comes up. If their testosterone doesn't come up, then I can go on different avenues. Doesn't have to be testosterone therapy, but I might need to reset their brain in order for their body to start making hormones again. Everything from growth hormone to, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. There's so many different routes of which I have to do. But again, my job is absolutely useless until, like we've talked about, they hit rock bottom and or find a motivating person like JC to begin to move forward. Then the combination of what he does and someone like myself can do is synergistic at that point. But till then, you're just beating your head against the wall,
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, man, I appreciate it. And again, I apologize, and I'll work on this. I got some work ahead of me to patch all this together. But I think it'll be fine. JC got to tell a story. That was the main thing.
Yeah,
so.
it's an incredible story. So that should be the highlight of everything that's going on. Is his story. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If the editing becomes really bad and you need to redo it or whatever, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, man. And now
me.
that I've got connections with you, bro, I'll have you on again.
Awesome.
So if we'll do this not regular, but whenever, if I feel like a topic's coming up or something you want to join in on, you're more than welcome.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Just get my information if you guys want to share. You can, Jason, you give him my information. I don't care.
Yeah. I'll get to him. Before I let you go, Doc, anything, you're moving to a new building, anything new you want to tell anybody
Beginning of January, we'll have our new building, anti-aging. I'll have its own standalone spot to take care of the patients. We're good to go there. Outside of that, not a little, just actually finished my fellow in cosmetic surgery. Came back from New Jersey last week, so that's a good thing. And then, like I said, we got Ty Pope here in a couple weeks. Be down there.
I'll be there.
Yep, we'll do some talking down there as well. And then, like I said, outside of that, everything's rock and roll, running smooth. We're doing good.
Good, man. Good. And just let everybody know, man. You obviously, because I don't make any money. You don't make any money coming on these shows. This is all to help people. And every time I ask you to come on the show, you're more than happy to come on and share everything you know. And I want to let people know that you're generally a good guy and a good doctor, and you're really wanting to help people, and that I recommend your practice to everybody. So
well, I appreciate it. I thank you very much. Like I said, I just want people just like JC, really my job is to be an outlet. Know that there's a place to go, be it cardiology or, like I said, from when the first time we met. Hey, I'm an athlete. Holy hell, I got a guy I can talk to, and I can just literally shoot the breeze, and he's not going to judge me. He actually knows what we're talking about, and he has an honest concern with my health, and that's what I want. And I think we've known each other for a while. That's who I am. I'm a regular, like I said, no nonsense, straightforward, don't pull any punches, shoot from the hip kind of guy. And like I said, and I appreciate you having me on, because it gives me an avenue to talk about what I can do for all you guys. So I appreciate it greatly.
No, it's definitely working, because every time I see somebody, or if the messages I get through Facebook or my fan page and stuff is like, hey, next time you got the doc on, ask him this or talk about this. And, and
it's great, because it just, like I said, and that's what we just keep doing it. Let again, the crowd's going to dictate what we talk about.
We're actually starting to get a little crowd now.
They'll say, because it's funny. It's like, it's like everybody sits in a room and always wait for the first person to talk. And then, what about this? And then, okay, they asked, so I can ask about this. And next thing you know, you have this big plethora. And that's it takes that one or two people to ask the question that everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know it, but everyone's too scared to ask about it. And then when they have an avenue, then it starts to kind of, like I said, run like wildfire. So,
yeah. All right. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you again. We'll talk to
you
later.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.